Hey guys, welcome back. Houston Math Prep here. In this video, we're going to take a look at function notation. So taking a look, we are very used to the notation of y equals and then some expression of x. That is a really common notation and we will continue to use that. But what we're going to look at next is another way of writing that same thing that tells us just a little bit more. So function notation on the right-hand side looks the same as this other y equals notation. We still just have some expression of x. But instead of y in function notation, we have this expression, f parentheses x close parentheses. And the way that this is read is f of x. So the letter here, f, doesn't always have to be f. It can actually be any letter of the alphabet, and this is just the name of the function. Some common ones that we will see are f of x, g of x, h of x, m of x, so we'll see most letters there. And then in parentheses, we have our input value there. So f of x equals x squared tells me that into the function f, when I input an x, I get an output of x squared. So function notation gives me the name of the function, but it also shows me the input at the same time as I can see the output. So let's take a look at that function notation in action. Okay, so here we have another set of function notation. If f of x, so the function f with x as the input, equals x squared plus 2x minus 3, then we can evaluate that function at different inputs other than x. So if we want to evaluate f of 2, then we're going to replace the input of x with an input of 2. So what that means is into the definition I have, x squared plus 2x minus 3, everywhere there is an x, I'm going to replace it with a 2. So that would be 2 squared plus 2 times 2 minus 3. So I've taken, again, my same definition, x squared plus 2x minus 3, and I've changed the input from x to 2. Now we have a numerical expression that we can evaluate. So 2 squared is 4, plus 2 times 2 is 4, minus 3. 4 plus 4 is 8, minus 3 gives me 5. Once we have evaluated, what we have here is our output. So when we have an input of 2, we get an output of 5. Remember that for functions, oftentimes our input-output are expressed as x, comma, y. So another way of thinking about this is that when x is 2, the y value that goes with that is 5. So when we plug in 2 for x, we would get a y value or an output of 5. Okay, let's try that again. Now, taking a look at f of negative 1. So again, whatever's in the parentheses here, that is your input. So that means we're going to take our definition and we're going to replace the input of x with an input of negative 1. So that will be negative 1 squared plus 2 times negative 1 minus 3. Evaluating there, negative 1 squared is 1, plus 2 times negative 1 makes minus 2, minus 3. So 1 minus 2 is negative 1, minus 3 makes negative 4. So there is our output. Or again, in function realm, usually our inputs and outputs are x, comma, y. So when an input or x value is negative 1, the associated output or y value is negative 4. Okay, and one final one for this particular function. What if we found f of a? So notice here, now I'm replacing my input of x with not a number, but another variable. It doesn't change what we do. We still take our definition and we replace the input of x with the input of a. So that would give me a squared plus 2 times a minus 3. Here, I don't have anything to simplify or evaluate, so this is my output. A squared plus 2a minus 3. So function notation works so that I can put any input in and get an output just by replacing the input of x with whatever is in the parentheses. Alright guys, that does it for this video on function notation. We'll catch you in a future one.